Hi, and welcome to or back to my channel. I'm Kit, and today we're going to learn how to win a man's heart femininely. Before we dive into it, Ellie would like to thank my patrons and YouTube members. In 2021, Fearless Femininity, formerly known as Bernadine Bluntly, began an online dating course that, well, from the website, Simply Smitten is a self-paced 100% online program with a blueprint guaranteed to take you from confused and frustrated about dating to knowledgeable, empowered, and purposeful in your romantic endeavors, having strong boundaries in the relationship, having confidence about who you are and what you want in life, finding a man who holds traditional values, wants marriage, and a family. This is a paid course, $297 for 10 modules. Quite a deal since apparently it's valued at $1,700, and though I am curious, my morals will simply not allow. However, she does have a free masterclass, which I was going to review on livestream last December, but I couldn't get access. I have since fixed that, and Bernadine is going to tell us about the art of the pursuit, which promises to teach us, during this free class, you'll learn what your role is as a woman in the art of the pursuit, what qualities attract a husband material man, why you're drawing in uncommitted boys, how to filter out low-quality, poor character men, how allowing him to pursue you increases his masculinity, confidence, and appreciation of you, how to attract him without leading him on. Good stuff. I would like to note that you can also get advice from Bernadine for $19, and if you're wondering about her qualifications, she's been married for 11 years and has 5 children. And finally, this is on a website called Embracing Womanhood Academy, so I suspect that we'll see some more courses eventually. My predictions are marriage and motherhood, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bernadine's husband also began selling courses to teach men how to man. Of course, I don't look at Lawson's Instagram all that often, so it's entirely possible he already has, though if memory serves, he had a speaking engagement recently, so he might be taking a slightly different approach. Anyway, let's grab our feminine notebooks and start some learning.
Hey sis, welcome to my video. I am so excited that you're here with me today. We're going to talk about the art of the pursuit, the male and female dance, how to win a man's heart with femininity and character without chasing him or doing all the work.
If you're comfortable, please let me know in the comments if you've ever taken a class on dating or if you've ever thought about it. And if you have, what did you get out of it? Did it change dating for you? Did it get you the results you wanted?
But before we start, you may be wondering if this video is going to be relevant for you, so let me just reassure you, you specifically are in the right place if you are an unmarried Christian woman and you want the knowledge to dramatically increase your chances of attracting a masculine, God-fearing man.
Well, I am single, but I'm not a Christian, so there's that. But it does make me smile whenever they specify a masculine man. It's not enough to be a man. Oh no, you have to be a masculine man. I have to admit, it's never occurred to me to judge how masculine a man is or is not. And it also seems very vague. What metrics does a man have to meet before he's considered sufficiently masculine?
If you want to properly, happily, and healthily build a relationship with a good man.
It's small, I know, but the timing is off on these slides and it's bothering me. Also, the background music is unnecessary.
If you're tired of feeling lost, confused, and hopeless in the dating arena.
Dating can absolutely be frustrating and feel like an exercise in futility, but please let me know if you felt lost, confused, and hopeless while dating. I guess I can see hopeless, no hope that you'll find someone you want to share your life with, but I have doubts about how much this course can actually help.
If your mind is filled with inaccurate advice, pain from past relationships, and fear of things going wrong again.
Bernadine is not a therapist or anything like that, so I'm really curious about how she would help someone deal with pain and fear from past relationships. I would be willing to bet the Bible is involved.
If you have no idea where to start, you've never dated before, and you want to have a good foundation,
Bernadine is casting a wide net with this course. You can take it as a teenager or as a 30-something. But I will say that I appreciate how, unlike some other folks, Bernadine doesn't write off women in their 30s, and I haven't seen her trying to terrify women about their fertility either.
And if you're ready to grow and thrive in biblical womanhood, femininity, beauty, modesty, style, communication skills, and so much more. So a little bit about me. My name is Bernadine, but you can call me BB for short. I'm a 30-something millennial wife and mama. My husband and I have been married for over 10 years. We're parents to 5 children from the ages of 10 to newborn. I'm an ENFJ. I love K-pop and boba tea, and I used to write and perform spoken word. And last, my love languages are quality time and physical touch. This is my husband, Lawson. We met at a youth Bible study when we were 17 years old. We were friends for a little over 2 years until the light bulb really went off for him, and he started to pursue me, to court me, which we did for 9 months, and we were engaged for 3 months. And by the age of 21 years old, we were married.
Bernadine has talked about how she used to be a feminist, but given that she thinks feminism
is just one part of a cultural Marxist puzzle which teaches destroy tradition, family, natural order, and faith in God by heavily pushing degeneracy, individualism, and relativism propaganda.
and she met her husband at a youth Bible study. They courted and they married at 21. When did she have time to be part of that cultural Marxist puzzle?
He's definitely the more logical, calm, and intellectual half of the marriage. I'm more of the creative, extroverted, expressive half. He's a great communicator, a great speaker and teacher, and most of all, he's a great husband and father.
This video isn't about that, but I wonder if the beliefs came before or after their marriage. I'm leaning toward after.
Previous to my husband, I didn't date a whole lot, but the last boyfriend I had before Lawson was a long-distance on and off again relationship that lasted about 2 years. We had met in California when I was still living there, but then my family moved to Texas, so the relationship revolved around phone calls, letters, and visits every now and then. So after the relationship finally officially ended, I looked back at those 2 years and thought to myself, wow, what an epic waste of time, attention, money, and emotion.
Maybe it's just me, but that seems like a sad way to look at a relationship, especially one that lasted 2 years. I also don't understand looking at ended relationships as though they were failures or a waste of time.
At one point, I was so head over heels emotionally that I thought I would marry this guy. And then 2 years later, we didn't talk anymore. I didn't feel anything for him. And yet all that time I spent is actually spent and I can't get it back.
No, you can't get that time back, but did she not learn anything from that relationship? Anything about communication or anything about herself and what she looks for in a partner? Sorry, headship? Just because it didn't lead to marriage doesn't mean it was just a waste of time.
The biggest issue was with how I so casually and ignorantly got into the relationship in the first place. I realized that my knowledge of love and relationships was weak and flaky. It revolved around my equally clueless friend's advice, my emotions, shallow priorities in a guy, and Hollywood rhetoric about romance. Dumb, I know, but I lacked knowledge and guidance in this area.
It's not dumb. That all sounds pretty typical for a teenager navigating their first relationship.
Thankfully, though, I had become a Christian in the middle of this move from California to Texas, so I started seeking God's truth about love, and I began giving him my desires and thoughts about marriage. Fast forward to now, I could not have picked a better man. Lawson is a mature, wise, positive, faith-filled, relentless, loving, understanding, and very present husband and father, and he's only gotten better since we got married at 21 years old. In short, he's a legitimately godly, masculine man. He makes for an amazing husband and father. He literally assisted our last free births, meaning there was no midwife or doula. It was just me and him, and he was the one that delivered his own children, basically. I'm so thankful that I learned everything I learned between the time that I broke up with that long-distance relationship boyfriend to the time where I made this ginormous decision to marry Lawson.
So then, that previous relationship wasn't a waste of time because she learned things from it that led to her marrying Lawson and being where she is now. And yes, I know she said she learned those things after that relationship, but I would be willing to bet it was the catalyst.
Because it could have gone south, it could have been sour really easily. Everything that I learned during that time and since that time is exactly what I want to pass on to every single Christian woman out there, because the decision of who you marry is huge.
Especially when you don't believe in divorce.
It has ginormous implications. It'll affect everything about you and your life, and not just that, but your children's lives and their children's lives. It's a big decision, so all the more reason to really invest in your life now, in your mindsets, so that you can look back and not have regrets.
I'm not really sure it's possible to go through life without regrets, but is it just me or is this intro kind of long? I think this would probably be better as a separate intro module rather than included as part of a class.
Oh, sis, that's what I want for you too. Do good men still exist out there? Absolutely. Has God forgotten about you? Heck no. I have no problem telling you and anybody else that I'm not special. I was just a regular girl with personal obstacles and insecurities myself who was trying to live for the Lord as best as I knew how. I was not and am not and never will be the prettiest, most charming, most feminine, sexiest, domestically excellent, perfectly stable, or problem-free girl out there. And yet God brought my husband and I together, and I love our life and our family. Looking back, I'm confident that it's all about putting God first, about trusting Him and giving Him your life. He is more than able to give you the desires of your heart, namely marriage and family, if you delight yourself in Him first. And whatever ends up happening, He knows what's best for you.
So basically, give your desire for marriage to God, and if it doesn't happen, well, God knows what's best for you. Nice.
As long as you're not sinning to achieve marriage, then you're good. There's no problem with wanting to be a good wife and mother.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a wife and mother, but how can one sin to achieve marriage?
You are allowed to want these things and to prepare yourself for them. There are few forces that God uses to shape, shake, and change the world like He does through family. That's why the family unit is under attack, because it's powerful.
I don't know why I thought Bernadine might have a dating course that didn't include something about how marriage is under attack. I would, however, like her to tell me how.
Most men and women will get married. This has been the norm by a long shot since the beginning of time. Celibacy and lifelong singleness is the exception, the minority, not the rule or the majority.
She acknowledges this, and yet just claimed marriage is under attack. It's like they have buzzwords they have to use even when they don't make sense.
Just because marriage is in decline due to society's ignorance of and disdain towards it,
Citation needed.
it does not mean foregoing marriage and motherhood is the right thing or even the normal thing for you to do.
Is this class separate from her course? Because if someone is paying to learn how to date for marriage, I don't think they need to be told that marriage is normal.
Imagine how it would feel waking up to the love of your life every morning, seeing his face and feeling his embrace. Imagine how it would feel to have someone you can talk to about anything, trust with everything, and rely on as he has the same in you. Just imagine how it would feel to have someone to share life's highs and lows with, a shoulder to cry on, to carry each other's burdens and lighten the load, to have a best friend to laugh and joke with, and to have someone to be completely vulnerable and open with, to be passionate and intimate with him without having angst or worry about where the relationship is headed or if he'll even be there tomorrow. Just imagine finding out that you're pregnant and telling him the exciting news, to give birth and seeing your husband's face and features and the children you made together. It's incredible. Imagine going through life's different seasons together as decades upon decades start stacking up. Through the joys and the turbulence, the fights, the tears, the passion, the intimacy you endure, and you never give up on your commitment, and you never give up on your covenant. You forge a love and a legacy you couldn't have imagined possible when you said I do so many years ago. Just imagine years down the road holding his equally wrinkled hands in yours and turning to smile at one another. Just imagine as you watch your children and their children running around in front of you as the generations come together for a family reunion, for Christmas or summer vacation. You get to choose. You can give up on love, stop trusting in God for your future, and let the anti-family culture win. You can bury your head in work and other fleeting endeavors, even though you know you want more.
I thought perhaps after the Just Imagine section, she might get into what this free class is supposed to teach us, but apparently not. I'm starting to feel misled.
You can stop trying now, only to look back one day and wish you had someone next to you and grandchildren to love on in your old age. Or you can revive those desires for love and romance. You can hand them over to God and prepare yourself for future marriage and family. You can invest in something that will outlast you. You can invest in something worth fighting for. I think you want the latter.
What are you fighting for? Marriage? How does one fight for that? Especially if they're to give that desire to God and He decides the timing. At this point, I have more questions than answers, and honestly, can these folks not do anything without claiming to be under attack? No one cares if you get married and have 10 kids, sis. Wanting companionship and offspring are perfectly normal and valid desires. You don't have to pretend you're fighting some sort of culture war by wanting marriage or boldly standing up for your beliefs by having kids.
Everyone and their mama hypes single women up to prepare for college and career and literally anything else but marriage and motherhood. What is up with that?
I'm sorry, did she just say women are hyped up for everything except marriage and motherhood? So what are engagement parties? Wedding showers? Bachelor and bachelorette parties? Baby showers? Gender reveals?
We live in a backwards society with backwards priorities.
Or, Bernadine just isn't like that not everyone shares her priorities.
But what if you dare to believe and put yourself out there? Watch what God can do with your honest trust. He can multiply your faith and He can multiply through you. Which is exactly what many of the students in Simply Smitten have experienced after taking the course. Some of them are in serious relationships talking to their dream guys. Some are engaged, and some are even married now. Most of all, regardless of their current relationship status, they are experiencing mindset shifts, healing, and a renewed sense of faith, confidence, and expectancy. This is what Rachel from Simply Smitten said. Simply Smitten totally transformed my thinking and life. I really can't put into words how much it lifted me up out of trash thinking, for lack of a better phrase. I was deeply hurt by a long relationship and believed I would never get married after that. This course has changed my life, and I'm excited to say God not only has renewed my desire to be a wife, but a mother as well. It's also been so helpful in my current dating.
As someone who's never done a course like this before, I'm so curious about what Bernadine says and does to affect mindset shifts like this. She could be making it up, of course, but from what she posts on her Instagram, I think these are real customers. Also, I'm pretty sure lying is a sin.
Cassie shared this message with me. Hey, baby, I wanted to reach out to thank you again for Simply Spin. When I first took the course last year, I was in a bad spot mentally and loved it, but I don't think I really absorbed as much as I could have. A few weeks ago, I started praying for God to help me in my relationship with this new view I've been getting to know. One night after my prayers, I felt really compelled to start the course over again, and I had such a lightning moment while listening to the various modules. It is so thorough and easy to digest and so helpful. I really hope you continue making courses. You have such a pleasant, nurturing demeanor, and I also have to say I have been talking to this man for a few months now, and it is more of a courtship than a dating relationship. And it's better than any other relationship I've ever had with a man. We both have approached this from a traditional mindset and focused on really getting to know each other. That's so awesome. Jen, who's 36 years old, shared this in the group chat. I started talking to a man in June who lives about an hour away from me, and I took the Simply Smitten course in June. Well, we have had several dates now in the past month and met each other's parents already. He's 39 and, like me, has been celibate for 3 years waiting for marriage. He hunts, fishes, and has a very masculine job. My life feels like a dream lately. I think I'm going to take the course for probably the 4th time now. And Ella had this exciting news to share with all of us one morning. She said, also, I've had the opportunity to use the skills from Simply Smitten, and they worked because he proposed. Thank you for the classes. You're so welcome, Ella. I'm so excited for you. So now let's get into one of the exciting lessons all of these students have learned in Simply Smitten. It's the art of the pursuit. In other words, the male and female dance.
And about halfway through the video, after telling us about herself and her husband and her journey in The World Hates Marriage and sharing testimonials and so on, we finally get to the meat of the masterclass.
How to win a man's heart with femininity and character instead of chasing him and doing all the work. Feel free to take notes if you want. Take screenshots or just enjoy the video. If you share it online on Instagram, tag me. That way I know who you are and I know that you are joining this webinar.
Enjoying might not be the right word for it, but that does make me wonder if Bernadine is aware of my channel. I suspect she is.
Ladies, welcome to Module 7, Pursued.
Based on this, I'm guessing she took the module and then added everything else to it, which kind of makes sense because having this free class is a sales tactic, but I have some criticisms of her editing.
I'm so proud of you for making it this far. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this module as we continue to get into the juicy stuff about courting. This module comes with a fill-in-the-blank worksheet from various lessons. The worksheet will be helpful to look back on and refer to later. I encourage you to fill it out as you go or after the lesson is done. There are also lots of lists in this module, so make sure to have your pen and notebook ready to write down the most essential parts and to make bullet points. So first of all, let's talk about the art of the pursuit.
I really should have made a drinking game out of how often she says art of the pursuit.
There is an art and a dance to romance and attraction, one that has been almost entirely lost in modern times. My mother had this saying, "The flower does not chase the bee comes to the flower." In essence, what she was telling me and my 3 sisters was to let him do the pursuing. Your task is to show him that you are worth being pursued. Sis, are you doing all the work? Are you running around, making the first moves, taking the initiative, and prodding him for clarity while he is distant, disconnected, apathetic, and even disrespectful? He's just not that into you.
She took the words right out of my mouth. And I would add that if someone is disrespectful, just don't go down that road. Not worth it.
When a man recognizes a woman he wants, he may be passive or indecisive at first, but he should soon realize what's in front of him and pursue you without hesitation. Traditionally, women do not chase the man around. Neither do they propose to the man, but we are seeing that some women are now getting on their knees to ask the man to be their husband. Whoa.
I like how she says, whoa, as though the idea of a woman proposing to a man shocks her to her core.
By doing all the work, you are robbing him of his masculine opportunities. He may take you for advantage or even resent you. If you do all the work for him, you're teaching him to be weak and passive.
It's really interesting to me how these folks paint men as strong, decisive leaders, but if a woman is strong and decisive, these same men are being robbed of their manly opportunities. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if a man is truly the strong leader type, he's not going to become passive and sulky because a woman is also a strong leader. And honestly, if your personalities don't mesh or you can't get along, don't date or court. Just because you started something doesn't mean you have to marry.
Instead, let him woo you and convince you.
Convince you of what?
If you're interested in a man, know your role in this dance. Your task is to show him your femininity, your grace, sweetness, kindness, openness, playfulness, cheerfulness, dignity, and beauty.
None of those things are exclusive to women, but okay.
Woo him by being your best self.
Isn't that usually how dating works, regardless of sex or gender?
Attract him with your inner and outer beauty and encourage him, inspire him to pursue you even more.
So you're supposed to inspire him with your inner and outer beauty to pursue you, but, well, on the one hand, I want examples, and on the other, isn't that how this works? Can someone please tell me what she's saying that's new and different from ordinary dating?
His task is to take the challenge upon himself.
What challenge? Does she mean dating? I don't think dating someone should be a challenge. And if it is, you're probably not dating the right person.
What challenge, you ask?
Well, I guess you can tell that I didn't watch this beforehand.
To throw off insecurity, fear, distraction, doubts, and hesitation, and to instead be courageous and take the risk, woo or persuade you, and then win you over.
And my questions still stand.
This doesn't mean lead him on, lie to him, mistreat him, or be disingenuous. It means your beauty will draw him in and motivate him to take the steps needed to get to know you more. It's a dance. By encouraging him to take on his masculine role, he will grow in courage and confidence. After he wins you over, he will be proud of his accomplishment.
I just don't think a relationship should require convincing someone to enter into it. It should be something both parties desire, not like a business proposition and then you, well, I guess just the man, feels accomplished when someone has agreed to it.
Grow in his confidence and most of all, adore his, quote, reward.
Absolutely not. Humans are not a reward.
A beautiful, high-value woman of God whom he loves and loves him back. On the other hand, when you act cheap or easy, men will treat you accordingly.
How people treat others is a reflection on themselves, not on the person they're mistreating. You do not get a free pass to treat someone badly just because you think they're cheap or easy.
They will use you and take advantage of you. Why? Because acting cheap and easy will attract low-quality, poor character, selfish men. Take things slow and let them do the chasing. You'll have a clearer vision of which man really cares about you, and you'll lower your risk of being hurt.
I'm sure Bernadine would say otherwise, but this sounds like a game to me.
A beta
Oh my god. Why has that language infected everything?
or effeminate man
Ah yes, the three types of men: masculine, beta, and effeminate.
will complain and refuse to try pursuing you.
Or they respect you as a person and don't want to treat you like some sort of reward.
A poor quality man will turn away once he sees you have standards and boundaries. He will quickly leave and look for girls who are easier to get to,
Finally, Bernadine speaks some sense.
i.e. sleep with, and don't ask for much. Filter out low-quality men by not throwing your pearls to swine. Remember that you are interested specifically in a good, traditional, masculine man. A man like that wants a challenge, wants a beautiful woman to pursue, wants the art of the pursuit to manifest in his life, and he wants to win.
I really disagree with this, and I hate this framing of men as aggressive and competitive. Humans are animals, but we evolved to have language. You don't need to dance to pursue a woman. A man is not a bird. Dating, courting, whatever you call it, forming a relationship should not be a contest with the prize, aka woman, going to whoever has the flashiest feathers or biggest nest.
Know your worth and act accordingly.
I do agree with that, and that goes for men and women.
Don't do all the work, but don't act cold or uninterested.
I really want to know who she's speaking to. I know her audience for this course varies widely in age and thus experience, but of course you can't expect the one to do all the work, and you can't expect them to keep pursuing you if you show no interest. Of course, listening to this probably has some of the audience asking how much interest is too little or too much, and what qualifies as doing too much or doing too little. Is it just me, or do dating courses actually just make dating more complicated?
You are a valuable, classy daughter of the Most High God. There is only one qualified winner, and he will reap the rewards of his effort and determination.
I know she's not, but my first thought was that she was talking about Jesus.
Insistence that both lead means there won't be any dance.
I don't see why there has to be a leader. I'm an adult. Whoever I date is an adult. Neither of us need to be led.
That was just one lesson from Module 7.
That was it? I'm a little disappointed that she didn't choose to do what attracts a traditional man, but I'm willing to bet I can guess. Be attractive and be feminine. And yet that one is 18 minutes long.
There are 10 modules or 10 parts in all, so that was just a tiny taste. In fact, there is so much depth in Simply Smitten
I doubt that.
without it ever becoming overwhelming or complicated. I keep it simple, sufficient, and succinct.
And my comment to that is, please edit out the pauses, especially the long ones, and sync your slides to your voice. There's no reason we should be done reading the slide before you read it to us. Anyway, we're going to skip forward a bit so we can hear about the modules.
So in Module 1, I welcome you ladies to the course, why I created this, and what my heart is for you. I also tell you a bit about my family. In Module 2, What's in Your Bag, we unpack any baggage or lies you may be carrying from past disappointments and hurts. We then fill ourselves up with encouraging biblical truths to replace those hurts and lies.
I'm pretty sure she just said that, but okay. And again, how is Bernadine qualified to help people unpack past hurts?
Giving your dreams for a better and freer future over to the Lord.
I answered my own question. They'll tell her about the past hurts, she'll read Bible verses, and then they'll be baggage free. It makes perfect sense if you don't think about it.
In Module 3, Priorities and Contentment, I help you realign your focus and remember what matters most.
Jesus.
You will learn what contentment really is and how to have it in every season of your life.
My bet is on the Bible, and at this point, I want to take the course just to see if my guesses are correct.
In Module 4, Femininity and Biblical Womanhood, I teach the meaning of femininity and biblical womanhood, how they're different, how they overlap, and I also go over the characteristics that please God and attract a godly man.
And on that note, I recently finished The Making of Biblical Womanhood by Beth Allison Barr, and I recommend it if that sort of thing interests you. And I suspect it might if you're watching this video.
And how to develop these traits. I teach you all about wounded and wrathful femininity and how you can avoid functioning in them. In Module 5, Male and Female, you will learn tangible facts about what makes men and women different, biologically, psychologically, spiritually, and more. You will see how men and women are uniquely different and perfectly complementary.
As regular viewers know, this drives me up a wall. Can someone please explain this insistence that men and women are so different? Are they aware that no man and no woman are the same? Does Bernadine honestly believe that if she married another man besides Lawson, she would be just as happy?
I also teach you what men need in general in life and what God calls men to be like.
If Bernadine believes so strongly in gender roles, shouldn't Lawson be the one talking about men? Or would that be inappropriate since this course is for women?
In Module 6, Dating versus Courting, I clearly lay out the difference in attitude and approach between dating and courting. You will learn how to have balance in your standards and expectations in a man. You will learn what to look for in a good man and why God created marriage in the first place.
Google is telling me that soul ties are an intense spiritual connection between two people that results in a mutual learning experience. And why does that need to be broken off? And what experience does Bernadine have in breaking off these soul ties?
In Module 7, Pursued, I explain the art of the feminine and masculine dance, or the art of the pursuit. You will learn what a masculine traditional man seeks in a woman and how you can attract him. We go over red flags and green lights and discuss worthy questions you should ask him while you're courting.
Place your bets. Will Bernadine have more or fewer questions than Girl Define's infamous 136 questions to ask in a relationship?
In Module 8, What About Sex? I show you what God actually says about sex in the Bible, why he created it, and why it is a good thing. You'll gain a healthier and positive view towards sexual intimacy and learn how sex chemically and physically bonds a man and woman. You'll also gain practical knowledge and tips on how to stand by your boundaries.
AKA, sex is a wonderful and beautiful thing that you should enjoy, but only in marriage.
Module 9, Captivating, is all about enhancing what God gave you.
And this is when I got impatient and needed to see how much longer was left of the video.
Not just for a man, but for yourself and most of all for God's glory. As a daughter of the King, you will learn why your temple matters and how to practically take care of yourself so you can put your best foot forward. You'll gain practical health tips as well as beauty, hygiene, and style tips as well. It is so much fun.
I have to admit, I don't really remember Bernadine making style and beauty part of her brand. I don't think it's one of her interests, honestly, and that's fine. I'm not a big fashion or makeup person myself, but that's also why you'll never see me giving style or makeup tips.
Last but definitely not least, In Module 10, Frequently Asked Questions and Encouragement, I go over 6 frequently asked questions about dating and courting, including how to turn a man down, how to go about online dating, places to meet good men, and so much more. I also encourage you and pray over you, believing that God knows what's best for your life and that He has good things in store for you, sis.
Maybe Christians will see this differently, but I don't know. It feels kind of weird to give someone money and they'll pray over you. I know you're not specifically paying for that, it's just included, but it seems off. Bernadine ends the video with more testimonials and a push for you to buy the course, and I have to say, I'm really curious about who decides the value of courses like these. I suspect it's the person selling them. Anyway, that was kind of painful. Obviously, I don't agree with Bernadine about most things, so I'm not inclined to enjoy her content, but for something you're paying for, that seemed bad. Granted, there's more to the course than just this video, but the timing was off, there were so many long pauses, and it also seemed repetitive, and I'm pretty sure the information was a bit thin. But let's review our objectives for this video. What your role is as a woman in the art of the pursuit. To inspire him to pursue you and make sure you're not acting too disinterested, but also don't do all the work. What qualities attract a husband material man? Your beauty and femininity, which is grace, sweetness, kindness, openness, playfulness, cheerfulness, dignity, and beauty. Why you're drawing in uncommitted boys. Because you don't know your worth and have standards accordingly. How to filter out low quality, poor character men. Stick to your boundaries because men of poor character will give up and look for something easier. How allowing him to pursue you increases his masculinity, confidence, and appreciation of you. I remember she said it did, but I don't recall the how of it. How to attract him without leading him on. I have no idea. I don't think this was a good choice for the free masterclass. The content feels a bit thin and there's nothing in here that makes me want to learn more. It also feels a bit repetitive, but it's only 4 minutes long. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Was I too harsh? Did you hear something of value in this masterclass? And finally, I just want to note we've come full circle. One of the testimonials Bernadine shared mentioned paying $700 for other feminine courses that fell short. Tradagram has successfully made women feel so insecure about how feminine they are that they can now sell courses as to how to properly be a woman. And that's it for this video. Yes, the sun is blinding me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.